Hello, welcome back to our channel. The first time Marcus heard his own voice on a recording, he almost turned it off. He was sitting alone inside a small apartment in Ohio after a long shift washing dishes at a restaurant. The room was quiet, except for the sound of rain tapping against the window. He pressed play again. His English was understandable, but every sentence carried fear. Every word sounded careful, nervous, and tired. He remembered the customers who asked him to repeat simple words. He remembered the moments when people smiled politely without understanding him. That night, he looked into the mirror and whispered one sentence slowly. One day, my voice will become my power. This documentary is not only about pronunciation. It is about confidence. It is about identity. It is about the courage to speak, even when your heart shakes. Across cities, small towns, farms, factories, schools, and crowded apartments, millions of English learners are fighting silent battles with their voices every single day. Some learners are afraid to answer questions in class. Some avoid phone calls because they fear embarrassment. Some stay quiet during interviews, even when they know the answer. But today begins something different. This is your American pronunciation journey. Not a perfect journey, a real one. And by the end of this documentary, your voice will no longer feel trapped. Lesson 1. The road to an American accent does not begin with the mouth. It begins with the mind. Many English learners believe pronunciation is about talent. They think some people are naturally gifted with accents, while others are forever stuck, sounding different. But language does not work that way. Every native speaker learned pronunciation through repetition, emotion, listening, mistakes, and daily life. Even American children spend years learning rhythm, tone, stress, and sound patterns. Your accent journey is not proof that you are behind. It is proof that you are learning. Imagine a teenage student named Elena living in a rural community in Texas. Every morning, she rides a long bus to school. She studies English while helping her family after school at a small grocery store. Customers speak quickly. Some words feel impossible to catch. Yet every evening she practices one sentence aloud before sleeping. Slowly, her ears become stronger. Slowly, her confidence grows. American pronunciation is not about becoming someone else. It is about helping your voice travel clearly from your heart into another person's understanding. That is why listening matters before speaking. Your brain must hear rhythm before your tongue can reproduce it naturally. So today, your first mission is simple. Stop fearing mistakes. Start noticing sound. Your voice deserves patience. Lesson 2. American English moves like music. Many learners focus only on vocabulary and grammar, but native speakers often communicate through rhythm. Some words become strong while others become soft. Some sounds stretch longer while others disappear quickly. That is why textbooks sometimes fail learners in real conversations. Real English breathes. A factory worker named Daniel once said he could read English articles perfectly, but struggled during normal conversations at work. He felt frustrated because coworkers spoke too fast. One day he realized the problem was not speed. The problem was rhythm. Americans connect words together like waves. What are you doing? Becomes, what are you doing? Did you eat yet? Becomes, jeet yet. Once Daniel began studying connected speech, conversations started making sense. Your ears are training right now. Even as you listen to this documentary, your brain is collecting patterns. American pronunciation is not only individual sounds like R or T. It is flow. It is emotional movement. It is timing. Practice this idea today. Listen to one short American sentence and repeat it with emotion, not perfection. Smile while speaking. Lower your shoulders. Relax your jaw. English sounds smoother when your body is calm. The accent grows stronger when fear grows weaker. Lesson 3. There is a hidden reason many learners struggle with pronunciation. They are translating in their heads before speaking. Their brain first hears the native language, then converts it into English. This creates hesitation. American speakers usually think in complete sound patterns, not word-by-word translation. In Chicago, a young immigrant named Sophia worked at a bakery near downtown. Every customer interaction felt stressful. She prepared sentences in advance, but when customers asked unexpected questions, panic appeared immediately. One afternoon, an older customer noticed her frustration and gently said, "You don't have to speak perfect English, just keep talking." Those words changed her life. Sophia stopped chasing perfect grammar during conversations. Instead, she focused on communicating ideas naturally. As pressure disappeared, her pronunciation improved faster. Many learners underestimate relaxation. Tension changes sound. A tight jaw creates stiff vowels. Fear weakens clarity. Confidence improves resonance. American pronunciation training must include emotional training. Before speaking, breathe deeply. Let the air move slowly through your chest. Then speak one sentence naturally. Imagine talking to a friend, not performing for an exam. Your voice becomes stronger each time you stop apologizing for learning. Lesson 4. One of the biggest differences between American English and many other languages is mouth movement. American vowels often require larger mouth shapes. Some learners speak too carefully and keep their mouths small. This creates unclear pronunciation. Think about the word cat. Americans open the mouth wide for the vowel sound. Think about go. The lips round clearly. Pronunciation is physical. Your muscles are learning new habits. A college student named Amir practiced English alone in his dorm room every night. At first, he whispered because he felt embarrassed. But whispering prevented improvement. One evening, he began exaggerating sounds dramatically. He watched himself in the mirror and copied actors from American movies. Slowly, his speech became clearer. Never be ashamed to practice loudly. American pronunciation is like learning basketball or guitar. Your muscles need repetition. Your tongue, lips, cheeks, and jaw are becoming athletes. Every repeated sentence builds memory. Today, choose 5 American vowel sounds and repeat them slowly. Stretch them naturally. Feel your mouth moving. Notice how sound changes with lip shape. The goal is not imitation without identity. The goal is communication with confidence. And confidence grows through daily action. Lesson 5. The American R sound is one of the most emotional sounds for English learners. Some students avoid words with R because they fear sounding incorrect. But avoiding sounds creates long-term fear. In a crowded New York taxi, a driver named Victor once struggled to say the word right. Passengers occasionally misunderstood him. Instead of giving up, he turned his car into a classroom. Every red light became practice time. Right road. River road. Turn right. Month after month, he repeated the sound. Eventually, passengers noticed his confidence more than his mistakes. The American R is deep and controlled. The tongue pulls backward slightly without touching the roof of the mouth. The lips may round gently. It feels different from many other languages. But remember something important. Pronunciation mastery does not happen in 1 week. Native accents are built over thousands of hours of listening. So instead of asking, "Why am I not perfect yet?" ask, "Did I practice today?" Small improvement repeated daily becomes transformation. Your voice is changing even when progress feels invisible. Lesson 6. Some learners believe they must sound exactly like a movie actor to succeed in America. That belief creates pressure and disappointment. The truth is simpler. Clear communication matters more than perfection. A nurse named Lila moved to California with strong medical knowledge, but limited speaking confidence. During her first months, she worried constantly about pronunciation mistakes. Yet patients trusted her because she spoke slowly, kindly, and clearly. Her accent remained part of her identity, but her communication became powerful. An accent is not weakness. Unclear communication is the real obstacle. American pronunciation training should focus on clarity, stress patterns, and confidence before perfection. Native speakers themselves have different accents from Texas, Boston, New York, Minnesota, and many other regions. Your goal is not to erase your story. Your goal is to strengthen your connection. Practice speaking slower today. Many learners rush because of nervousness. Ironically, faster speaking often creates more pronunciation errors. Slow speech sounds stronger and more confident. Pause between thoughts. Let words breathe. A calm speaker sounds more natural than a panicked speaker. Lesson 7. Listening is the hidden engine of pronunciation improvement. If your ears cannot recognize a sound clearly, your mouth will struggle to produce it accurately. A high school student named Mateo loved basketball commentary on television. At first, the announcers sounded impossibly fast. But he listened every day while doing homework. Gradually, phrases became recognizable. Intonation patterns entered in memory naturally. Without realizing it, he began copying the rhythm of American speech. This is called shadowing. You hear a sentence and repeat it immediately with similar timing and emotion. Shadowing trains your brain to move with English instead of translating slowly. Today, choose a short American audio clip. Listen carefully. Repeat immediately after the speaker. Focus on rhythm more than individual words. At first, it may feel awkward. That is normal. Every skill feels uncomfortable before it feels natural. The learners who improve fastest are not always the smartest. They are the most consistent. Lesson 8. Fear of embarrassment stops more English learners than difficult grammar ever could. In a small town diner, a waiter named Ethan avoided conversations because customers sometimes corrected his pronunciation. Each correction felt painful. For months, he spoke only when necessary. Then one day, a little girl smiled and said, "I like your accent." That simple moment changed his perspective. He realized communication is human, not mechanical. Most people are not judging you as harshly as you imagine. Many Americans admire multilingual speakers because learning another language requires courage. Confidence is not the absence of mistakes. Confidence is continuing despite mistakes. Pronunciation training becomes powerful when emotional fear decreases. Instead of thinking, "What if I sound wrong?" think, "What if my voice inspires someone else to keep learning?" Your journey matters. Somewhere, another learner feels silent because of fear. Your courage could become their motivation. Lesson 9. American English often reduces unstressed vowels into softer sounds. This is why native conversations sometimes sound blurry to learners. For example, the word about may sound closer to about. The first vowel becomes relaxed and unstressed. Americans conserve energy while speaking. Strong words receive emphasis, while weaker sounds soften naturally. A mechanic named Jordan struggled to understand co-workers during lunch breaks. He studied grammar intensely, but still felt confused. Eventually, he discovered reduced sounds and weak syllables. Suddenly, conversations became clearer. English is not spoken like a dictionary. To sound natural, learners must understand sentence stress. Important words receive energy. Less important words shrink. Practice saying this sentence naturally. I really want to learn American English. Notice how certain words carry emotional weight. Rhythm creates authenticity. Lesson 10. Every powerful speaker develops self-awareness. A university student named Naomi recorded herself reading English aloud every weekend. At first, she hated hearing her own voice. She noticed pronunciation problems immediately. But instead of feeling ashamed, she used recordings as tools. Month by month, her speech became smoother. Recording yourself is one of the fastest ways to improve pronunciation because it reveals habits hidden during conversation. Today, record 30 seconds of your English speaking. Listen carefully. Do not criticize yourself cruelly. Simply observe. Growth begins with awareness. Your future confident voice is already hidden inside your current voice. It only needs training, patience, and repetition. Lesson 11. American pronunciation is deeply connected to emotion. Native speakers change pitch constantly, depending on excitement, sadness, surprise, frustration, or joy. Monotone speech can sound unnatural, even when grammar is correct. A delivery driver named Carlos learned this lesson unexpectedly. He practiced pronunciation every day, but customers still seemed disconnected during conversations. Then he realized he was speaking without emotional expression because he feared making mistakes. Once he allowed natural emotion into his voice, conversations became easier. Language is not only information, it is energy. Try reading a simple sentence with different emotions. Say, I can do this, with confidence. Then say it with excitement, then with determination. Notice how your voice changes. American English rises and falls like storytelling. The more emotionally connected your speech becomes, the more natural your pronunciation sounds. Lesson 12. Many learners secretly compare themselves to fluent speakers and feel discouraged. Social media sometimes makes language learning appear fast and easy. But real improvement usually happens quietly. A warehouse worker named Priya practiced English during late-night shifts by repeating labels, signs, and short phrases aloud. Nobody applauded her progress. Nobody noticed her effort. Yet after 1 year, she confidently handled customer phone calls that once terrified her. Transformation often happens slowly enough that you cannot see it daily. But one day you suddenly realize conversations feel easier. Trust the process. Every repeated sentence builds neurological pathways inside your brain. Your accent is changing even during difficult days. Consistency matters more than intensity. 10 focused minutes daily can outperform 3 exhausting hours once a month. Lesson 13. The American T sound changes depending on location inside a word. Sometimes it sounds sharp, sometimes it becomes softer, almost like a quick D. Think about the word water. Many Americans pronounce it closer to water. This is called the flap T. A restaurant cashier named Min once wondered why native speakers understood movies better than textbooks. When she learned about the flap T, entire conversations suddenly became recognizable. English pronunciation contains patterns hiding beneath the surface. The more patterns you recognize, the more natural listening and speaking become. Practice words like city, better, and meeting. Notice how the middle T changes softly. Small pronunciation details create huge listening improvements. Lesson 14. There will be days when learning feels exhausting. Maybe someone misunderstands you. Maybe you forget simple words during conversation. Maybe progress feels invisible. During those moments, remember why you started. A single mother named Angela studied English after working 12-hour shifts cleaning offices. Some nights she nearly quit because exhaustion overwhelmed her. But she kept imagining her future speaking confidently at parent-teacher meetings for her son. Purpose creates endurance. Your pronunciation journey is connected to dreams larger than sound itself. Better communication can open friendships, education, opportunities, confidence, and leadership. Every difficult practice session is building your future voice. Do not underestimate your persistence. Lesson 15. Native American speech often links words together smoothly. Beginners sometimes pronounce each word separately, creating robotic rhythm. For example, want to becomes wanna. Going to becomes gonna. These reductions appear constantly in casual speech. A teenager named Leo learned English mostly through music and online videos. At school, he understood grammar well, but struggled socially because conversations moved differently from textbooks. Once he studied connected speech, real interactions became less stressful. Understanding casual pronunciation helps learners feel included. But remember this carefully. Casual reductions should sound natural, not forced. Clarity remains important. Listen first. Then imitate gradually. Your ears must absorb rhythm before your mouth can reproduce it comfortably. Lesson 16. Breathing affects pronunciation more than many learners realize. Nervous speakers often hold tension in the chest and throat. This creates weak projection and unclear sounds. A hotel receptionist named Maya practiced breathing exercises before every shift. She inhaled slowly, relaxed her shoulders, and spoke from a calm chest voice instead of a tight throat voice. Customers immediately understood her more clearly. Strong pronunciation begins with relaxed airflow. Before speaking English today, pause for one deep breath. Confidence sounds physical. Your body and voice work together. Lesson 17. Some learners hide their accents because they fear rejection. Yet many of the world's strongest communicators speak English with noticeable accents. An entrepreneur named Ravi once apologized constantly for his pronunciation during meetings. Eventually, a mentor told him something unforgettable. People remember confidence more than accent. That sentence changed his entire communication style. He stopped shrinking himself during conversations. American pronunciation training should empower your voice, not erase your identity. Clear speech combined with confidence creates powerful communication. Never confuse perfection with worth. You deserve to speak before you sound perfect. Lesson 18. The TH sound challenges many English learners because it may not exist in their native language. For the voiceless TH in words like think, air passes gently between the tongue and teeth. For the voiced TH in words like this, vibration appears in the throat. A construction worker named Ben practiced TH sounds while driving to work every morning. Think, thank, this, those. Repetition slowly transformed discomfort into habit. Difficult sounds become easier through daily exposure. Your tongue is learning new positions. Be patient with the process. Lesson 19. American conversations often depend heavily on intonation. A rising tone can signal uncertainty or curiosity. A falling tone can sound confident or complete. A student named Chloe noticed her classmates sometimes misunderstood her emotional meaning despite correct vocabulary. Her teacher explained that her intonation remained flat during questions. Once she practiced rising tones naturally, conversations felt smoother. Pronunciation is emotional architecture. Words carry meaning. Tone carries feeling. Speak with life. Lesson 20. At some point, every learner experiences breakthrough moments. Maybe you understand a movie scene without subtitles. Maybe someone compliments your pronunciation. Maybe you successfully handle a difficult phone call. Celebrate those moments. A truck driver named Omar nearly cried after ordering food confidently at a crowded restaurant without repetition for the first time. Small victories become emotional fuel. Never ignore your progress. The voice you wanted 6 months ago may already be the voice you have today. Lesson 21. Learning pronunciation through storytelling creates deeper memory than isolated vocabulary lists. Human brains remember emotion. A teacher named Rebecca encouraged her students to repeat emotional stories instead of random sentences. The students improved faster because emotion strengthened retention. That is why this documentary focuses on real human journeys. Your voice grows stronger when language connects to feeling. Lesson 22. Some learners avoid speaking because they fear grammar mistakes. But pronunciation improvement requires active speaking. A barber named Hassan practiced conversations with customers every day despite imperfections. Over time, his rhythm improved naturally because real interaction forced adaptation. You cannot become comfortable speaking while remaining silent. Progress lives outside comfort zones. Lesson 23. American English emphasizes stress timing. Important syllables receive stronger energy, while unstressed syllables become shorter. Practice this sentence naturally. I really need to improve my English pronunciation. Notice which words feel emotionally important. Stress creates clarity. A librarian named Julia improved dramatically after focusing on rhythm instead of individual sounds. English is movement. Lesson 24. One dangerous habit among learners is negative self-talk. I sound terrible. I will never improve. Nobody understands me. These thoughts create emotional barriers. A graduate student named Ken changed his progress by replacing criticism with observation. Instead of saying, "I'm awful at pronunciation," he said, "I'm improving my vowel clarity." Language shapes mindset. Mindset shapes performance. Lesson 25. Your environment influences pronunciation growth. If possible, surround yourself with spoken English daily through podcasts, interviews, movies, conversations, and audiobooks. A farmer named Ellie listened to English radio every morning while working outdoors. Gradually, her listening comprehension transformed. Exposure matters. Even passive listening trains the brain. The more American rhythm surrounds you, the more naturally it enters your speech. Lesson 26. Many learners think fluency means speaking fast. In reality, clear speakers often speak calmly. A courtroom interpreter named Lucia learned the pacing influences understanding more than speed. When she slowed down slightly, her pronunciation became clearer and more professional. Never confuse rushing with fluency. Strong communicators control timing. Pause confidently. Let your words land. Lesson 27. There is beauty inside imperfect English. Every accent carries history. Every pronunciation struggle represents courage. A janitor named Samuel once told his daughter, "My English may not sound perfect, but every word represents hard work." That perspective transformed his confidence. Your voice is evidence of effort, sacrifice, and resilience. Respect your journey. Lesson 28. American vowels can feel confusing because small mouth changes create major meaning differences. Ship and sheep, full and fool, bed and bad. A college athlete named Nina improved her pronunciation by practicing minimal pairs daily. Her listening skills sharpened dramatically. Tiny differences matter. Train your ears carefully. Lesson 29. Motivation rises and falls naturally. Discipline matters more. A grocery clerk named Tyler practiced English every morning before sunrise, regardless of mood. Some days felt exciting, others felt repetitive. But consistency built mastery. Do not wait for perfect motivation. Build reliable habits. Lesson 30. The strongest English learners become curious observers. They notice how Americans greet people, how they pause, how they laugh during conversation, how tone changes during storytelling. A photographer named Elena improved by studying real-life interactions instead of memorizing isolated rules. Language is culture in motion. Observe deeply. Lesson 31. Phone conversations challenge many learners because visual clues disappear. A mechanic named Ibrahim feared answering calls at work because he could not read facial expressions. To improve, he practiced listening to audio-only conversations every evening. Gradually, his listening confidence increased. Difficult practice creates growth. Avoiding challenges preserves fear. Facing challenges reduces fear. Lesson 32. American storytelling often includes emotional emphasis through vocal stress. Listen to how native speakers highlight exciting moments. Their voices rise, their pace changes, their energy expands. A theater student named Grace improved pronunciation rapidly after joining acting workshops. Performance trained emotional speech naturally. Do not speak like a robot. Speak like a human being sharing real experiences. Lesson 33. One hidden secret of pronunciation improvement is identity. Some learners subconsciously resist change because speaking differently feels uncomfortable. A software engineer named Victor realized he felt embarrassed exaggerating American sounds during practice. Once he accepted temporary awkwardness as part of growth, improvement accelerated. Transformation often feels strange before it feels natural. Allow yourself to sound unfamiliar during training. That discomfort is progress. Lesson 34. English learners sometimes underestimate sleep and rest. Your brain processes language patterns during rest periods. A medical assistant named Rose noticed better listening comprehension after maintaining healthier sleep habits during exam preparation. Learning is biological. Protect your energy. Exhaustion weakens concentration. Lesson 35. At some point in your journey, another learner will notice your confidence and feel inspired. A quiet student named Miguel once admired fluent speakers from a distance. Years later, younger students began asking him for pronunciation advice. Growth multiplies. Your future confidence may become someone else's hope. Lesson 36. The American L sound changes depending on position. A light L appears at the beginning of words like love. A darker L appears near the end of words like full. A musician named Tara practiced these differences through song lyrics. Music strengthened her pronunciation memory naturally. Use creativity during learning. Language grows faster when practice feels meaningful. Lesson 37. Comparison steals confidence. Every learner has different experiences, opportunities, and timelines. A refugee student named Hanna felt discouraged hearing classmates speak more fluently. Her teacher reminded her that progress should be measured against yesterday's version of herself, not against others. Protect your mindset. Growth requires patience. Lesson 38. Many Americans shorten everyday expressions during casual speech. How are you doing? May sound like, how you doing? What do you want? May sound like, what do you want? Understanding reductions improves listening dramatically. A rideshare driver named Caleb became more confident after studying casual pronunciation patterns through podcasts. Real English lives beyond textbooks. Lesson 39. The strongest communicators listen actively. Pronunciation improvement is not only speaking practice, it is attentive listening. A counselor named Emily improved conversational rhythm by carefully observing pauses and tone during interviews. Listening teaches timing. Timing shapes natural speech. Lesson 40. Never underestimate encouragement. One supportive sentence can change a learner's future. A cafeteria worker named Diego nearly stopped practicing English after repeated embarrassment. Then a co-worker said, "Your English is getting better every week." That single observation restored his motivation. Encourage yourself the same way. Speak kindly to your future voice. Lesson 41. Public speaking terrifies many English learners because pronunciation feels exposed under pressure. A university student named Lena joined a small speaking club despite intense fear. Her hands shook during her first presentation. Yet each week became easier. Confidence grows through repeated exposure. Fear shrinks when faced consistently. Lesson 42. American pronunciation also involves cultural confidence. Understanding humor, tone, and emotional timing helps conversations feel natural. A chef named Marco improved rapidly after spending more time socially with native speakers instead of studying alone constantly. Language is relationship. Human connection accelerates learning. Lesson 43. Your inner voice influences your spoken voice. If you constantly tell yourself you are incapable, your communication becomes hesitant. A cashier named Olivia transformed her confidence by practicing positive spoken affirmations daily. I am improving. My voice matters. I can communicate clearly. The brain believes repeated language. Use that truth wisely. Lesson 44. Many learners ask how long accent improvement takes. The honest answer depends on consistency, exposure, confidence, and daily practice. A security guard named Peter practiced 30 minutes daily for 2 years and experienced dramatic transformation. There is no magic shortcut, but there is a reliable path. Consistent practice changes voices. Lesson 45. The most memorable speakers are emotionally authentic. People connect to sincerity more than perfection. A teacher named Maria inspired students not because her pronunciation was flawless, but because her warmth and clarity made learners feel safe. Never forget the human side of communication. Your voice carries emotion before vocabulary. Lesson 46. American English often uses contractions naturally. I am becomes I'm. They are becomes there. He would becomes he'd. Contractions create smoother rhythm. A bookstore employee named Nathan improved conversational flow dramatically after practicing contractions aloud during reading sessions. Natural speech values rhythm and efficiency. Lesson 47. Some learners fear losing their cultural identity through accent training. But learning pronunciation does not erase your roots. A community organizer named Fatima described pronunciation improvement beautifully. She said, "I didn't lose my voice. I expanded it." That is the true purpose of language learning. Expansion, opportunity, connection. Lesson 48. There will come a day when you speak English confidently without overthinking every sentence. That day may feel distant right now. But countless learners before you once felt the same fear. A warehouse supervisor named Jonah remembered crying after failing an interview years earlier because of communication struggles. Today, he leads meetings confidently. Transformation is possible. Never decide your future based on temporary difficulty. Lesson 49. Your pronunciation journey is teaching more than language. It teaches resilience, patience, adaptability, humility, courage. A grandmother named Clara began learning English in her 60s so she could speak with her grandchildren more comfortably. Her determination inspired her entire family. Growth has no age limit. Your voice can evolve at any stage of life. Lesson 50. Tonight, somewhere across America, another English learner is sitting quietly with headphones, repeating difficult sounds again and again. Maybe they work long hours. Maybe they feel lonely. Maybe they secretly wonder if they will ever sound confident. If that learner could hear you 1 year from now, what would your future voice say? Perhaps it would say this: keep going. The embarrassment will fade. The confusion will shrink. The fear will weaken. One conversation at a time, your voice will become stronger. One repeated sentence at a time, your confidence will rise. One brave moment at a time, your life will expand. American pronunciation training is not simply about sounding different. It is about unlocking doors that fear once kept closed. Your accent journey represents hope. Hope for better communication. Hope for opportunity. Hope for belonging. And most importantly, hope for self-belief. So tomorrow morning, when life becomes busy again, remember this moment. Remember that your voice matters. Speak even when nervous. Practice even when tired. Continue even when progress feels slow. Because one day you will realize something extraordinary. The voice you once feared has become the voice that inspires others. If this documentary reached your heart, do not let the lesson end here. Continue listening. Continue speaking. Continue practicing. Your American English journey is not measured by perfection. It is measured by courage repeated daily. Somewhere inside you is a confident voice waiting for permission to rise. Give that voice a chance. Read aloud tomorrow. Practice 1 sentence more. Listen 1 minute longer. Speak even if your hands shake. Because every fluent speaker was once a beginner searching for confidence. And your story is still being written. Keep learning. Keep growing. Keep speaking. Your future voice is already on its way.